Yo, it's your boy Kenny T. Kilo, Tango, Aviation. How's instrument training going out there for y'all? I know learning about all the instruments, the instrument approach procedures, and all that can be a little bit challenging. But I'm gonna focus just on one thing here, and that's your pedostatic instrument failures or the errors that comes along with them. Now, I found this really cool website that simulates the failures in the pedostatic system and really helped me understand. And it's something that I use with a lot of my students to help them get to really comprehend what's going on when you have a blocked pedostatic tube or a blocked static air port or anything like that. So let's go to the website. Boom, check this out. Now, first off, I didn't make this website. I just found it when I was trying to find different tools to help me and my students out. Now, the cool thing about this site is outside of just what we're actually going to talk about, it has so many different tools. So it has online like simulators on like VOR simulators that you can use to help you understand how to better understand what the VOR looks like on your instruments based on where the aircraft's at, your to and from indications, a lot of really cool stuff on here. I could sit here and go on for hours going through all the different things they have on here. I mean, they got an RMI simulator. I mean, everything. Like, I can go and practice all sorts of crazy stuff on here to help me better understand, especially when you're going through the book. Sometimes the book do not explain a lot of this stuff well at all. So, all right, let's get into it. All right, so we got the pedostatic simulator, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description of the website. It's luismontiero.com. Like I said, I have no idea how I found it. I think I just Googled, simulators for flying or whatever, but it's in the link, so just look for it. So here's a quick breakdown of how this simulator works. So in the top part, you have your simulated system. So any errors in anything you put in will show up on this top indicator that has the airspeed indicator, your VSI, and your altimeter, as well as the pedostatic port, the static port, and your alternate static port. The bottom is your reference system. This reference system, no matter what errors you put in, will stay the same. It's your control. So that way you know when you add a condition in, this is the baseline for what it's looking at, so you can know where the changes come in. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through a couple different errors in each of the instruments, in the three instruments, and that way it can kind of show you how it works, and then you guys can practice on your own time. So let's start with the airspeed indicator. So I'm going to look at the outside conditions first. We're going to start with airplane that's at 3,000 feet, true airspeed of 100 knots. All right, I'll keep the temperature at standard. Stage now to 0, and we'll have the simulator change setting it slow. Okay. So first, let's look at the airspeed indicator. So when I put this in here and it starts, let's get this rolling. All right, it's gonna get the airplane. Let's get this 100 knots, and we want 4,000 feet. Enter. So when you put in a parameter in there, it'll actually slowly or fast go up to that parameter. You see how it's increasing the speed, increasing in altitude in the simulated and the reference system. And you see they both match because there's nothing wrong with the simulated system. All right, it's approaching 4,000. There's 4,000. So we're flying along at close to 100 knots, and we are at 4,000 feet. And now we're going to block the ram air tube. What do we expect is going to happen when you block the pedo air ram? All right, so as we see, when it's blocked on the simulated system, it shows automatically that the airspeed indicator goes to 0. As expected, that's what happens when you block the ram hole of the pedostatic port. And you see in the reference system, it shows the airplane is still actually going close to 100 knots. So that's one indication that you'll have in the airplane if your pitot tube gets blocked. All right, let's unblock it. All right, so what happens if our pitot and drain hole gets blocked? All right, so there's the ram air and the drain hole. Okay. All right, so our rim, so we'll say that our drain hole and our drain hole and our ram air hole are blocked. So now when we're flying straight along, it will literally not really show any difference in anything. So let's see what happens if we speed up the airplane. 120. Let's see. Nothing happened. It didn't change. Whereas on our actual reference, it shows that there would have been an increase, obviously, because you'd actually be going 120 knots. And that makes sense because there's going to be no change on our airspeed indicator. All right, now what happens if we climb? We go 6,000 feet. So what happens when you climb and you have the pitot tube drain and the pitot tube ram air blocked is that the airspeed indicator will show an increase in airspeed when actually the airspeed is not increasing. That can be quite confusing when you climb up and you see your airspeed increase. That in itself can be very disorienting, especially when you're in IFR conditions. All right, now let's go descend down and see what happens when you descend with the pitot drain and ram air closed. As you see, our airspeed indicator is decreasing. There you go. It's lower than what the airspeed is. Way lower than what the airspeed is. So you're descending and your airspeed is decreasing. All of this gets real confusing. So you can see automatically why this can be a problem having an issue like this. All right. Let's try another one. Now let's clear out the error. Now let's look at our VSI and our altimeter. Really, the main thing with that, we're going to look at the static, block static air, right? So static air is blocked. So now what's going to happen? When we change altitude, do we expect that something's going to happen? Let's see. We'll go up to 4,000, enter. On our reference system, it would go up. But here, it does not change, because our static pressure it's stuck in there. So it's not going to show any change in our altitude or in our change in altitude or in VSI. If we descend, we'll end up with the same problem. Watch. Go ahead and put this in there. 2,000. Enter. Nothing happens. Whereas if everything was fine, it would be perfectly fine. You would actually see descent, but nothing's happening. And you can see that here because the pressure did not change. All right, now we're back to 2,000, right? So the pressure did not change, and that's why the altimeter isn't changing. All right. What's our last one? Okay, so we see that our static port is, let's go up to 4,000. All right, we're going up to 4,000, and we recognize that, okay, we just climbed up to 4,000. Well, you don't know this at 4,000 feet, but climbing up, and your altimeter did not change. If we activate our alternate air, which is what you should do if you sense that you have a blocked static airport, then you'll use the inside cabin pressure. Let's see what's going to happen. All right, so now it shows slightly above 4,000, which is expected because when you use your alternate static, you're going to have a higher than actual altitude, and your VSI is going to show a slight increase. And one other thing is going to happen is your airspeed is going to show a little bit faster than what it actually is for corrected. But having an alternate static is going to be way better than not having a static source at all when it comes to your instruments. So cool. So like I said, this is cool. So like I said, that's a really good website to use. Check out in the link. And it's really good to get you some practice looking at all the different things that could happen while you're flying along at ground zero, while you're just sitting there playing with the different options, playing the different things, looking at what the pressure does and all that. Way better than looking at the book and try to memorize what it says on the words. Go and actually practice and do it. And then check out this next video. I'm gonna show you that has me actually looking at these errors while in the simulator. So what it actually would look like while flying along. All right, it's your boy, Kenny T. Kilo Tango, out.